How's it going, everyone? It's GadgetsBoy. Welcome to another video. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at the new pair of true wireless earbuds from Nothing. This is the Nothing Ear Stick 1, and it's the latest one. It's just the latest one, and it's unique in its own way. It's got this nice case that it comes in, and it just looks really nice. And if you don't fall in love with the sound quality, this will probably catch your attention, this design. But before further ado, let's get into it, see what it's all about, see what you get in the box, and my opinion on the Nothing Ear Stick 1. In the packaging, you get a few things. So you get the pair of earbuds itself. It comes already in the case, ready to go. And on the other side of the packaging, you also get your user manual, so quick start guide, warranty information, and there's also a tiny USB cable to charge the device back up again. And that USB cable is wrapped in this nice plastic rubbery material, but underneath it has this fabric finishing inside it. So hopefully that means this should be nice and durable. It should last a bit longer, so you don't have to worry about breaking it. Otherwise, if you have a USB-C cable already at home, you can just use that. So you don't have to take this out of the box. You can just tuck it away somewhere if you want to do that. Or if you prefer something longer, you can just use your previous or current USB cable that you've got already at home. Taking a closer look at the case itself, it's a different case. It's not the first time this is done. This was actually done years ago when true wireless earbuds started coming out, and there was one by Motorola, I think it was like Verve or something like that, Motorola Verve Pro Plus, something like that. I did a video on that. I'll leave the link to that in the description. It's one of my oldest videos, so you can see that that's not actually a new thing. But that's not to take away from Nothing, because their twist on this is actually really nice, no pun intended. Up top, you have a USB-C port to charge this back up, which is embodied by that red sort of block that's inside the case itself in this transparent casing, which is really nice. I quite like it. And next to that is that silver button, which you can use to pair it up with other devices that doesn't support fast pair. Speaking of fast pair, you can fast pair this with your Nothing phone, for example. Or if you have other compatible Android phone, you can just twist this and it will start to do the fast pairing process, so you don't have to do any faffing around with Bluetooth settings and all that. On the other side, there's a Nothing writing, the logo that's on there, which is nice and subtle, which I quite like. It's only available in this white color, unfortunately. It doesn't come in other color as of now, as of yet, but maybe they'll release other color in the future, but that might take away from that transparent look that it's got. Talk about that white color, it might just means that this would get dirty very quickly, and also that acrylic sort of casing that they've got on this might scratch up, and it might not look as nice as it does when you take it out of the box later on in its lifespan and your journey of using the Nothing Ear Stick 1. I quite like the finishing on there as well. You got this like nice sound that you get as well. I don't know if you can hear on the mic. Anyway, it becomes addictive over time, and it just rotates both sides as well. So it rotates all the way around, and it gives you this nice clicky sort of feedback, and it locks into place once it's clicked into position. So you don't have to worry about that just spinning by itself. So once you've rotated it, and then you can take the actual ear sticks out themselves. You also notice like this little LED lights indicator like that flashes in there that will let you know when it's in pairing mode, lets you know when it's opened up and rotated out. So you can keep an eye on that to tell you different things. But where things get really exciting though is the actual earbuds themselves. So these are quite different in the sense that they don't have any ear tips with this. And this might be an issue for some because it just means that it doesn't really sit well in some people's ear canals. It's all right on mine, but it gives me like a sensation of this is going to fall out. But it's actually quite secure. So once you trust that it's secure in your ears, you don't have to worry about it. With no ear tips as well, it also means that you get some leak as well with sound, and also allows sound in as well. So when it comes to noise cancellation, there's no noise cancellation in here, and I don't think that ear tips or the lack thereof helps that at all. They use some sort of technology, some algorithm called bass lock, which is meant to just allow less sound coming in, but I didn't really feel that doing any special job specifically on there. This has 3 microphones, so that allows it to work really well when it comes to making phone calls, so there's no issues there at all. Elsewhere, you get sound feedback every time you put it on. You put it in your ears. It's got the detection there as well, so when you take it out, it'll pause your music, it'll stop working, so that way you can save battery life. This is quoted for like 7 hours of battery life use, but I was getting around 6 hours of use at this, which is not bad at all. This is just standard with earbuds these days, true wireless earbuds. So on each earbuds, you get different color on the dot. So you got a red dot and a white dot. So the red dot will go in your right ear and the white in your left ear, and it's got that sort of transparent look that we've seen before on the Nothing Ear 1. So they carried on with that sort of design, so it looks really good. I quite like the look of this. But again, the only thing that's lacking on here for me is that ear tips, and I think you know, I wish they designed it to have those ear tips in there, so it kind of sits well and also allows for better locking of sound in your ears, so you don't get leaking sound and even allowing sound to come in your ears as well. But otherwise, they're nice and lightweight. It just feels like nothing. So when you put in your ears, nothing. No pun intended. But once you put in your ears, they just sit there and it's just there, and you know, really nice and comfortable. It's not falling anywhere. It's not going anywhere. You can go for a run with them on. It's sweat proof, so it's not fully immersible in water, so you have to be careful. But if you go for a run and you sweat, you don't have to worry about that. One thing I do notice though, if you do get sweaty ears, this will just slowly just sleep out, and then you have to kind of like push it in again. And if you in the habit of listening to earbuds that have ear tips, the habit that you start developing is you're going to start pushing it in like this, because you want it to sort of sit tighter in your ear canals. So that's something else that I've noticed using them. And it's white as well on this top bit, so again, that will get dirty over time. You have to keep wiping it off, but it's easy to wipe off, so that's not a problem. I think as far as design goes, this is really nice in terms of design. It looks a bit like, you know, lipstick case if you look at it. In fact, I went for lunch yesterday, and the lady that I went for lunch with said, "Are those lipsticks?" I was like, "No, just new ear stick ones." So the next thing is, if you're using an Android device, you can download the app. So Nothing, I think it's on iOS devices as well, but for the purpose of this review, I went straight to the Nothing phone, which you can see there. So I used that to pair them up and start using it. So you download the Nothing X app, which allows you to do a few things that you might not be able to do on other competitors on the market. So, for example, once you load it up, it tells you the battery percentage on the left and the right, and then you've got equalizer and the controls there. But first, before we go into that, we've got settings up top. So this supports SBC and AAC codecs. So, sounds good, but I'll talk about sound quality just in a second. So if you go into device settings, we can change things like your in-ear detection. You can switch that on and off. You got low lag mode, so if you're going to be gaming, this would help your input lag, which works really well actually when it comes to Call of Duty and stuff like that. I really like that they've focused or thought about that when designing this. You got Find My Earbuds. They're not that loud when it comes to Find My Earbuds, but they do work. So if you do lose individual earbuds, you can actually find the individual one. So it's not something that just finds both together. So if you lose one of them, you'll be able to find one and still use the other. Firmware update, device name, etc. Then you got that there. And then if we click that little 3 lines on the left, you compare new devices, you can change color scheme. That's to do with the app itself. But back on the app, if we go to equalizer, this is where things get interesting. You can change the balance, the sound of it. So you can change it to balanced, more bass, more treble, and voice. So depending on what you're doing. So voice might be useful for when you're listening to your podcasts. It means it stresses the voice quality over anything else. You've also got custom, which allows you to drag the bars up top, to the left, to the right, almost like this Mercedes logo. So you can go to mid, bass, and treble. If you know what you're doing, you can tweak this to make sure you get the right sound quality that suits your preference. But I think if you want to listen to everything every day, you don't want to worry about tweaking things every time you listen to different music genres, it's best to leave it unbalanced, because that just deals with every music genre that I've put it through. Speaking of sound quality, actually before I go into that, since I'm using Android, you can also go into ear stick settings up top, click settings. This is where you can do things like HD audio and toggle that AAC codec on. So if you're using Android devices, toggle that on, because you get slightly better sound quality, but not massively different, I will tell you that much. Speaking of sound quality, I think it sounds good for a $99 pair of in-ear true wireless earbuds. I think they sound good, but my issue is things sounds a bit teeny tiny. So bass, the low ends, they're a bit lacking. Also, your trebles are great. The mids and the low end is where you start to notice things. I've just dropped one of them. Might have to use that Find My Earbuds any minute now. But in terms of sound quality, they sound really good for $99. I wouldn't say I wouldn't shout about it or make a big fuss or hype about it in terms of sound quality, but they're decent. I have no issues with it. If you had ear tips, it might sound a bit better, but other than that, you can hear what's going on around you. So if you're on a train in the morning, commuting, whatever, you can hear people. If you're on the plane as well, you can hear everyone. So that's something to bear in mind if you're looking to purchase one of these. But other than that, I really like the design. And one thing I forgot to mention as well is in the app as well, you can change the controls on the stick itself. So you can do press once, you can squeeze it, you can squeeze twice and squeeze 3 times, and you can change all the things you can do with those. So inside the settings again, we go to controls. So there you can do double press, and that will allow you to select things like skip forward, skip back, voice assistant. And one thing you can't change is decline incoming calls. And you can change that for left and right ear sticks as well. So you can change what they do with every command that you do. So like triple pressing, single press, and so on. The only thing that you can't change is a single press. That's always going to be play, pause, and answering and hanging up on phone calls. And you can also press and hold as well. The one that's a bit baffling though is double press and hold. I don't know when you'd absolutely gonna need that at all because I don't see myself double pressing and then holding it to do anything, but everything else works really well. I think it works much better than the touch or is it swipe on the ear ones, so these are much better in my opinion. But other than that, yes, that's the overall review of it. Just been using it. I think sound quality is decent. It's not the best in the world, but it's decent. It's lacking those ear tips to make for better fit and more comfortable fit. It's lightweight, so you don't have to worry about that at all. They're actually quite secure once you get over that feeling that it's going to fall off. And the app that it comes with as well, the Nothing X app, I think that's actually a pretty cool app that can be modified over time. They probably change things and add things over time. Who knows? But over to you. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I do my best to answer those for you. And if this is your first time around here, please do subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And hit that bell notification so you get notified every time I upload a new video up on the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.